Hello everyone. I'm an ordinary office worker who likes history. Well, last time, I talked about the Virginia colony. The first colony in the southern United States. Well, why did they go to America? To make money, right? So this time, I'd like to talk about the northern part of the United States. This time, they came not to make money, but for a different reason. First of all, the people who came to the northern part of the U.S. are called Pilgrim Fathers. It's a solemn name, isn't it? The reason why they have this name it's because they are actually called Puritans in England. It was one of the Protestant sects. And Protestantism is. It's a long story about religion. I'll skip it. What is Protestantism? Historically, believers of this religion tend to be persecuted in Europe at that time. The state religion of England at that time was Church of England. While the Puritans were persecuted for being different from the Church of England. That's why they fled from England and came to America to establish their own Puritan kingdom in 1620. They came to America on a ship called the Mayflower. There were 102 people in total. But here's the thing. It's often misunderstood. Of these 102 people, I think it was 41 Puritans on the ship. There were only about 40 of us. There were also merchants and ordinary people. They were probably the first to came to America. For religious reasons, they were the first Protestants to come to America. I think some of you know that America is mainly Protestant. I think the Pilgrim Fathers will be an essential part of the story of the founding of America, and they arrived in the northern part of the country. He was actually going to go to Virginia at first. The Virginia colony was already a success and he heard rumors about that one. I'd heard rumors about it. I tried to go there. But the weather was a problem. I think the weather was rough. So we lost our direction. So I ended up in the northern part of the country. So they ended up in the north and a place called Plymouth. It's now located in the state of Massachusetts. That's where they arrived. When they arrived there, they learned about the northern part of the state. They called that part of the country as New England. So they named it New England. And here in Massachusetts, you know, it's quite far north. It's cold. I think it's about the same latitude as Hokkaido. So it's normal for the temperature to be negative in winter. That's the norm. That's why, it's a very cold place. Unluckily, though, I arrived in November. It was November. And we were on the Mayflower. We were almost out of food. So, until the next spring. They ended up dying in droves. There were about 100 people on board. Half of them died in the end. I feel like I've heard this story before. I'm sure you've heard this story before. But the fathers were in pain. Who saved the suffering fathers? Who do you think it was? Actually, it was the Indians. I'm sure you've heard this story before, too. Indians. He saved them. They are called Wampanoag Indians. Their name sounds like, one pan man. This tribe saved them. These white people were lucky that they had such kind Indians. The white people were lucky not only because of the kind Indians, but also there was a Wampanoag who could speak English fluently. Among the Wampanoag, there was a man who could speak English fluently. He had been taken out from England long time ago, so they were able to communicate with each other with no problem at all. They gave them food, and they learned how to hunt and grow corn. The white people managed to survive. So, the Indian spirit of sharing everything is really wonderful. It's really wonderful, isn't it? Because they were strangers. They were suffering in front of me. You see them and you reached out your hand to them without hesitation. It's really wonderful. They are really Indians. The following year, the white people were able to harvest the crops. They were different from the South. They didn't immediately use force to steal food or anything like that. They grew their own grain and they managed to live by harvesting. They invited the Wampanoag tribe to a feast to show their gratitude. To show their gratitude, right? This has now become Thanksgiving, which has become a common culture in North America. This is the origin of Thanksgiving. Well, it's not so familiar in Japan. Thanksgiving. What does it mean? Well, I don't know much about it myself. It's a family gathering. They get together and eat turkey and other stuff. It's an event to say thank you for food this year. It's a very important event. It seems to be a very important event for them. It's probably as important as Obon in Japan. The purpose is totally different. There are many holidays like this. Of the many holidays, if you rank them like this, Obon is probably pretty high on the list. It's the same as that. Today, it is a very important for people in North America today. But, you know, I'd like to tell you something. We had a party. The white people, they had a lot of harvest and they wanted to share it with the Indians. So we invited them. They were saying, let's have a good time. But in the end, they ran out of food, so the Indians brought extra food. So what's the point? But there is an episode like that. They were able to settle here. The Plymouth colony was established here. After this, the number of settlers increased rapidly. The conflict between the Indians and the whites progressed. But with the Wampanoag tribe, we've been on good terms. So they made a peace treaty. The chief at that time was William. He was also a good man. When the white man had a conflict with another tribe, William were still friends with the white man because we had a good relationship with them. We're Indians, but we don't want to get involved in this war. We've always been neutral. However, the white man started to escalate. In the end, they invaded the Wampanoag land. At that time, William was already dead. His son became the chief and went to the white man to talk. I don't want to go any further. He said, let's not do this anymore. I don't want to start a war. Let's revisit it, you know. Let's get along well. I told him that. But he died mysteriously on his way back from the meeting with the white people. And things didn't go well, and then his brother Julius was the new chief. I knew it was wrong. I thought, this is wrong. I can't let them do this to me. So a full-scale war started. It's called the King Joseph War. It was not only the Wampanoag, but also with other Indians who were in conflict with the white people. They fought against them. The white people also fought against the other colonists. It was really an all-out war between the whites and the Indians. However, the white man won, because they win in these such cases. About 600 white people died. On the other hand, more than 4,000 Indian people died. So they were beaten to a pulp. Moreover, Julius was killed in this battle. His body was torn into 8 pieces. His head was pierced by a spear and displayed in the white man's village for a long time. That's terrible. They're really doing terrible things to him. Because, you know, Julius is the one who saved us. He's the son of that Maasite, isn't he? This is the result of sharing everything. Really. My own son's body was torn into 8 pieces, and his head was stuck on that spear. I really don't know what's going on. It is the reason why the northern part of the United States is developed by defeating Indians. The Plymouth colony was established after that. Plymouth colony was later annexed by Massachusetts colony. Boston was annexed by the Massachusetts colony, and the New England area. Boston became the center of the New England area, and it became more and more prosperous. The fishing industry, shipbuilding, etc., also prospered. And around that time, Harvard University was also established and so on. The academic field also developed. The number of very smart people in this area is increasing. Thus, Boston will become the center of the American independence movement. That's why I'd like to continue this article. I talked about the initial formation of the colony. Other European countries are also coming to America. So, what kind of confrontation will we have with them in the future? How did England expand its territory? I will explain it in the next article. If you find this video interesting and informative, please like it and subscribe to our channel. See you soon.